What's going on? It's Kayla Love here at Vibe Coding Incubator, and today I'm going to show you how to create a waitlist landing page for your app. And this is going to buy you some time as well as gauge interest for your app, service, or product while you're working on the back end. So let's get into it. All right, so I'm going to be demonstrating this in a Lovable project, but you can use any vibe coding platform. Here I have a project that I started last August. I haven't touched it, since April, and I have a significant amount of work. This is an app that allows people to create Eventbrite pages like on Eventbrite and Luma, as well as their own funnel page with just a voice note. And it's powered by a bunch of N8N agents on the back end. It's pretty dope, but I had made the mistake of overbuilding because I didn't know then what I know now. And so now I'm like, I put myself in a position where it's a lot more difficult to go to market. And now I'm simply going to still have it up. I don't want to abandon the project, but I don't need people getting in here and there's a bunch of bugs. So I'm just going to create my waitlist page. So here, I'm just going to talk to Lovable. I have this in plan mode, which means that it's not going to modify any of the code. It's going to come up with a comprehensive plan that's specific, not just to my project idea, but to my code. When I'm putting something in plan mode, and there is a plan mode in Claude Code as well, it means that the agent is able to reference everything that's happening here and act accordingly. Act with that in mind. So it's not giving a generic plan. So here I'm going to say, I want to create a waitlist landing page in replacement of the landing page that exists currently. I want to keep a lot of the same information in terms of covering the benefits of the app as well as how it works. But instead of the CTA being this create your first event button, I want there to be a waitlist form. Done. And I'm going to go ahead and put that in plan mode. So you'll notice that I was speaking instead of typing that, and I'm using whisper flow. I did a double tap so that it just stays continuously and I don't actually have to hold down the button while I'm talking, because as you might notice, I am pretty expressive with my hands. And so I will give you a starter prompt, as you can see. Like if you're just the kind of person that wants to copy and paste, I'll give you that. As you can see here, I'm a rapper. That's what I do. I kind of flow with it. Just see what comes to mind and roll with this. It's waiting for approval because it's drafting me a plan now. So I'm going to click edit so I can actually see the full plan. It gives me a little plan summary. I click edit and it's saying replace your current landing page with a waitlist sign-up form while keeping the existing hero copy, features grid, benefits list, and footer structure. New Supabase table. So remember, Supabase is our database, right? Supabase, my database, because it got to be SQL, which means it's the type of database that AI can read and also modify. So what it's doing here is telling me the columns that it's modifying. It's letting me know that I have RLS enabled. This is what we want as best security practices. Again, it doesn't matter what vibe coding tool that you're using. RLS, the Supabase, or a database at least, these are universal to the aspects, the components of a project. Now, even if you don't know what this means, it's gonna break it down to you in plain language. And this looks pretty solid. I kind of look around, I'm like, okay, yep, out of scope, it's referencing that, it's telling me what exactly the files that are touched. And now I can actually go in and modify anything. So you can see here, this is all editable, all right? Or I can just click this blue button, approve. And what that's gonna do is now take my project outside of my plan mode and into build mode. And look at that, all right? Here we have create beautiful event pages in minutes, and there it has the join waitlist, all right? And now I can go ahead and put in my email, and let's see what happens, because I didn't actually tell it what it should do afterwards. Okay, that's it. It says you're in. Thanks for joining the Events Homegirl waitlist. We'll email you as soon as your spot is ready. Now, of course, if you don't like that messaging, if you want to change something, if you want this to be on its own standalone page, if you want it to redirect somewhere else, then simply state that to Lovable or whatever vibe coding platform. Take a screenshot if you need to, drag it on over, say, this is what I want it to say. You can also use visual edit mode for that, and technically that is free. I hate it. I'm not gonna lie, I just don't like visual editor mode in Lovable. It just feels very clunky, although I guess you save sometimes half a credit or one. But if you're editing things like adding a photo or something, it still costs you credits. So that's neither here nor there. All right, that's essentially how you create the waitlist. But now I know you're probably wondering, well, where do I see the people that signed up in my waitlist? And that's what I'll show you next. So you see this little cloud icon up here? If I click it, typically it's going to open up to Lovable Cloud. Lovable allows you to do a one-click database, and it creates the backend for you, and you typically would be able to see the data. And here, the data would be the email of the user that just signed up on the waitlist. Now, again, this project is a bit older before they have that feature, so I connected it directly to Supabase, which is helpful because if you were building this in Claude Code and you went through the boot camp, there's a high likelihood that you're using Supabase also as the database. So again, it can connect to multiple front ends. Now, this is for a project Events Homegirl, and I can come over here and look at the table editor, and I'm going to look for waitlist signups. And I know that it's called waitlist signups because the AI told me, right? Waitlist signups table. And if I go there, it shows the data. All right, so this is what Supabase looks like on the back end. So we can see here when it was created came from the hero of my text page, and there's that email. Now, obviously, this is not ideal, not a great place to be able to manage contacts or emails, and that's why we have a CRM, customer relations management software. In my case, I have High Level, and so I will actually have this email sent out via High Level by connecting my High Level account, and actually I'd be connecting my High Level MCP to this account. So that's a little bit outside the scope of this video, but if you are interested in seeing that, let me know and I will make a video. The other option, especially for something like just a waitlist page, which again is meant to be quick and easy, simply so you can start sending out a confirmation, gauging interest, and just collecting that data, would be to get a Resend API key. So I came over here to resend.com. Once you log in, it's going to redirect and look like this. And this is where again, getting your API keys always looks slightly different on whatever software you're on, but you just look for something like tokens, API keys. Sometimes it's under the settings or developer settings. So once I click API keys, you can see that I actually have a couple here, but now I can just go to create a new API key. And the most important thing about it is the naming convention is that you know what that API key is for. So in this case, I'm gonna say Events Homegirl Waitlist. And this is where you can also do full access or sending access. And right now, I think the only thing that I need to do is give sending access. So I'm just gonna limit it to that scope, and all domains, okay, because I had to add a sending domain. So this one was not completely set up from scratch, but you're just gonna go through the prompts to set up your Resend, and then you'll be able to get this API key. And you can have it show the value. I'm not gonna do that because we're recording, and remember, you never ever wanna show your keys off, okay? Or I'm just gonna copy it to my clipboard so that it is ready to go for this next prompt. So now, oops, wrong app. I'm gonna go and I'm gonna do my whisper flow again and just say that I want to integrate Resend. I want to integrate Resend for sending a confirmation email once a user signs up for the waitlist. It should just be simple and straight to the point, letting them know that their waitlist spot has successfully been reserved, and they will be hearing from me shortly. Can't wait to streamline their next event with them. And then I will also say, I have my API key ready. I was gonna say something else, but no. And this is pretty straightforward. Like, it's gonna know what I want. It's gonna generate an email, and then it's going to allow the sending capabilities once I authenticate with my Resend API key. Because on its own, Lovable, Claude Code, they're building a front end. What gives it that back end functionality is both, yes, the database, but also the other softwares we're integrating into it. So for example, Stripe for payments. Lovable isn't taking a payment directly. Stripe is taking the payment. We integrate it into our project. So here I'm going to just go ahead and do a good old Command V, paste it in there. And what that's doing is adding it to my database where I have all of my secrets. Okay. And in Claude Code, we would add that to our .env file. And then we have the instructions that it's supposed to be ignored. All right, so it's like that's our way of safely securing it on Claude. And then we have our way of safely securing it on Lovable. Lovable is just basically a Claude wrapper. That's why if you look into the code, something look familiar here for all of you in the Claude Code Bootcamp? Yeah, there's a Claude MD file. What do you know? It's a universal thing. That's why we have to do it in like all caps here. Okay, so there we have it. And let's see, we're gonna go ahead and wait. I won't tell your secrets. Your secrets are safe with me. That's what the database is saying. All right, so it's saying done. Waitlist signups now trigger a resend confirmation email via the new Edge function. Okay, cool. Now it's sending from onboarding at resend.dev, Resend's test sender. To send from your own domain, you have to verify the domain in your Resend dashboard and let me know. I'll swap the from address. So maybe you will get a little Resend action tutorial here after all. So let's just go ahead and join the waitlist again. So Kayla plus waitlist2 at theaihomegirl.com. And you might be wondering why I'm adding that plus. Well, when I put in an email and I put the same email in over and over again, sometimes because that email already exists in the database, it won't add it as a new contact or a new data table. And so some of the functionality we want to test won't trigger. So by putting in that plus, it's registering as a unique email each time. And I can actually demonstrate that here if I refresh the page. And I look back at my wait list. Now I can see it actually shows up as two separate lines as if it was two different contacts. So let me go check my email. All right, so I didn't get the email and now I'm pissed. But this is an opportunity for growth and learning. All right, we gotta be patient and have some grace. And so my instinct is to be like, I didn't get the email, what's going on? But hold on, let me also just try and do some troubleshooting. Keep my brain sharp. This is what my grandma taught me. Keep my brain sharp. Gotta use that thing. So I'm actually going over to Resend to the logs panel here. And what logs are is like, hey, I'm trying to figure out, did you even get my request? Did we make communication? And so it looks like, yeah, that happens. And it tried to post, which means that it's creating content to put out there. But it's a 403, which is a forbidden status, and it doesn't give me a whole lot more info than that. Oh, here we go. Testing domain restriction. The Resend dev is for testing and can only send to your own email address. To send to other recipients, verify a domain. All right, so in that case, oh, it's showing me the email that it created. That's cool. So what that means is I have to now go to my domains. And this is a domain that I had put up before, but it's not going to be branded. And I think it's going to expire soon. It might already have. So that also might be the place. So let me just add a domain. Oh, how dare you. All right, I got to delete it. Yes, I am going to delete this domain. And that's how they get you. Oh, I have to type. It's not like high level over here. They'll be like making you delete. All right, so now you're gonna get this crash course on how to add a domain. So let me go ahead and add my domain, and this is going to be actually a subdomain. So here you can see updates.theaihomegirl.com. I could do something like mail.theaihomegirl.com. I have that set up, so I will just do updates. All right, and I'm gonna select my region. Well, yep, North Virginia is the closest one. It's basically to figure out the closest server to you. Let's see. I am leaving all of that. And then I'm going to click add domain, and it's going to give me the records that I need to actually edit this, to make this real. So it notes that this is on a Cloudflare domain, but it's actually a high level domain, and they use Cloudflare underneath. So I won't be able to actually authenticate with my personal Cloudflare because it's not considered to really be on there. I have to go to my high level account and find my DNS records. So you're going to go to wherever your DNS records exist. It could be Cloudflare, it could be GoDaddy, it could be Namecheap, whatever else you use. But if it's on high level, then you have to navigate to your sub account. So let's do that now. Okay, so from my sub account, I'm going to navigate to sites, and then I'm going to click this little widget icon. And you can also go to settings and look for domains. It's the same place. And now I'm going to click manage for the domain that I'm going to be editing and adding. And I'm going to look for DNS records. And now I'm going to go back to Resend and go to manual setup. Now, this is also one of those skills that is just a skill. Like, you do this a lot when you're setting things up, especially if you start doing this for clients. Being able to connect your domain, it's the same thing. We're using different records because we're connecting our domain for the purpose of emailing, not the purpose of redirecting a hosted website. So we need to have this domain verification. We have to add these following records to our domain provider in order for it to verify. So I see it's a text, and typically there's always a little copy box. So I just go to add record and I just match the things. That's it. You just have to kind of have the patience real quick. Again, it's a one-time setup to just go back and forth and do that. Okay. And then I go to enable sending. And this is where I have to add an MX record and another text record. So I'm going to go MX. And then I'm just going to paste it. And then I'm going to do the same thing here. I like that it gives me the little checkbox so that I know. And does it tell me the priority? It does. The priority is 10. Again, you don't even have to understand it all. You just copy and paste. That's a lot of what we're doing here. Just knowing the right place to copy and paste, or where to get the information to put it in. There we go. Okay. That was added successfully. Now, let's see, enable receiving. All right, then I can also enable receiving, and it's going to come to the root domain email that I have set up. And here we have another MX. Let's just go ahead and do updates. The mail server. And we'll go ahead and I think it's 10 again. Yep. Save that. And it just makes you go to Cloudflare because, once again, it thinks that your domain is hosted on Cloudflare, but we know that it's on high level, so it's just missing that. So as you can see now that I've added the domain for my sending domain, it's checking it and it's looking for the records. It's talking about a few hours. I mean, technically it can take up to 72 hours for DNS records to propagate, but I've never seen it actually take that long. But it can vary between the record type. So this one's pending, that started. And so pretty much we have to wait for that to happen before our email functionality can actually happen. But when your vibe coding part of it is making the most out of your time, so while this is working, we're gonna move on to the next step just so that we can maximize our time. And the last thing that I want to show you in building out this waitlist landing page is how to create an admin dashboard so that you can actually just see what's going on. Again, this is if you don't, especially if you don't have a CRM, like a high level, or you just want to be able to see some basic information at a snapshot all in one place. So is it, oh, look it already actually gave me this right here. Add admin waitlist view. Okay, you know what? Go ahead, Lovable. You even made the prompt for me. And I'm going to put it in build mode. That's it. That's better than I could have said it. Thank you. So it's saying create an admin page that lists waitlist signups with timestamps. So it says here, create an admin page that lists waitlist signups with timestamps and shows whether the resend confirmation was successfully sent. Again, MVP version, minimum viable product. I don't need to see a whole lot of data, and I'm not collecting a whole lot of data. The least things you ask for, the least friction there is, the more likely you're going to see conversions. Now, of course, there's times when you need and want that data, but for the purposes of this, when you're sending people to a waitlist page, they're not just stumbling across this. They're there because you sent them. All right, so right now we just want to capture the data so we can stay in contact with them, and we need just a simple admin page. The other ways that I would prompt this is like, I'd like to have an admin dashboard where I'm able to see my users. Then think about the other things that you might want to see. The last time that they logged in. Now that doesn't apply here because this is just a wait list, but if you have an app where there's actively users logging in, if you have payment, a subscription, it will show the active subscribers, right? It could show you your revenue. All those things, admin dashboard, meaning that it's unique to just your account. Not everybody will be able to see this. And that's where the RLS policies are really important. So it's saying that this admin page is live at admin/waitlist. So I can actually go see my waitlist here. It shows every sign up with timestamps and sent, failed, pending badge, plus the resend email ID and any error. Love that. Now, hopefully it knows that I'm an admin, but we're going to check on that. Oh, no, this is RSVPs for as people that are actually RSVPing to the events, not admins, all right? Note here, it also said your earlier resend logs. See, that's the importance of logs, because it's a place that the errors can be tracked, that the AI can also access to see. So it's saying that the sender can only deliver to your own verified address, verify a domain, and swap the from to start sending to all signups. Like, dang, okay, I know. That's what I'm working on. Can't you see? Oh my goodness. All right. Me talking all that mess, talking about DNS verified. Okay, verified. That's what I love to see. See? It didn't, even if you didn't know what you're doing, just copy paste and get the little ding. You did it. You'd be like, I don't know what I did, but I did it. All right, so I just fixed the error and verified my domain, so I am ready to send from, and verified my domain. And I'm gonna just let them know because that's what they really want. It was, what was it? Updates, theaihomegrown.com. Let me go check. Updates.theaihomegrown.com. So I'm already saying it's gonna do that. And, in theory, I should not have gone back and forth. Like, we were working on the admin stuff. I should have just kept working on the admin stuff, but I didn't. So I need to actually tell it to add my email as an admin email. And sometimes it's able to do that, and sometimes it will ask me to, or it'll give me an SQL, like stuff basically that you would paste in as commands that you paste in over here in the SQL editor, which is like a type of terminal. Okay, so we'll see what it says. Now it updated the sender. New waitlist signups will now receive the confirmation email from your verified domain. So let's go ahead. It'll say send a test email. I'd rather do an end-to-end test as a real user, because that's also going to save me credits, and it's going to help me get just a real world experience, because sometimes it'll work on a technical level, but the placement doesn't look right, or it's not intuitive, so you only really learn by doing and using. All right, come on now. So I'm going to go ahead and sign out. and go to the main page. And this is all that users should have access to now. And now I'll just do Kayla and Waitlist 3. And now we have it. Now I'm gonna go check my email again. 1 second. There we have it. You're on the Events Homegirl waitlist. All right, your spot is reserved. You're there. Hey there, you're officially on the, that damn M dash. But you know, we can go see the emails. Okay, no, it shows the emails here. Is it? Actually, all of these emails are being sent through what's generated by Lovable. So I'd have to just go in and like write the copy and say, update this email here. Or what I probably can do is create a template or a broadcast. I'm not sure which one it would be because I haven't done that. And then ask Lovable to send it so then I could just build it here. Different options. See, there's a lot of different ways to get to the same destination, as I've said before. So that's pretty much it. So now what we've done is we bought ourselves time by creating a waitlist page where we're able to collect emails and then send a confirmation email to everybody who has signed up on the waitlist page. The last thing that we're going to do, we were in the process of doing, is making sure that we can see those emails not just in Resend and not just in our Supabase tables, but in an admin panel that exists on the app. So I can say, I see that you built the admin page to be able to see the waitlist signups. However, I need to add my email as an admin so that I can actually see them. And then my email is, okay. Now again, I know what I want and I'm writing it out, so I have it in build mode because I don't need a plan for that. It's pretty direct. A plan is when I'm putting out features that I'm not really sure how to implement or what I need to implement. Like, I want to send an email. What do I do? Well, how can I do this? What are my options? All right, so it says that it's already in the admin list. You should be able to visit directly while signed in with that email. Okay, well, maybe I'm missing something. Okay, let's do it. Dashboard. Are you gaslighting me right now? Oh my gosh, you're not. I just had to do it another time. So here we can see my waitlist signups, 3 total signups, 1 email sent. It doesn't consider this one a failure because it was before, we tried it before we had built this out, and then the 2 pending. And so this is where you can be like, if they're pending, can you add a button over here so that I can click it and it can manually resend the email? Right? That's how, like here, add admin management, right? You can add or remove emails for waitlist access, fix the role check, show access. So you can get inspiration from the little prompts here in Lovable. Now in Claude Code, you can still use plan to iterate, but it doesn't have this similar feature. But that's because if you're using Claude Code, you know, it's like the training wheels are off. It's like the big leagues over here, okay? But really, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what platform you're using. What matters is that you have an idea that's worth sharing and building out for the world, hopefully to make it a better place. Please, let's use this technology for good. And now you know how to create a front-end waitlist page. The main functionality that you need is just that page that has the ability to capture information, the ability to send it somewhere and store it for later use, and giving that immediate confirmation that they indeed have successfully signed up for your waitlist. And for our convenience, we also added this admin panel so we'd be able to see all of the waitlist users that we have. So there you have it. That's how you create a waitlist page. I did this one in Lovable, but again, you can do this in any platform that you are vibe coding in. So it's your girl, Kayla Love, the AI homegirl, over and out.